The scariest underwater animatronics.
I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
This fun fact is not fun at all. And if you're afraid of spiders, this is the only warning you're gonna get. This is a Sydney funnel web spider. It's arguably the most venomous spider in the world. They've turned at least 13 people into hashtags, and their fangs are strong enough to bite through your fingernail. If one bites you, it'll latch on and keep striking until you eventually shake it off. And the venom they introduce to your body can cause drooling, muscle twitching, and difficulty breathing to the point where you lose consciousness. And it's actually the males that are the worst, because male funnel webs have a special toxin that specifically attacks the nervous system and can shut you down from the inside. Now, would you believe that's not the worst part? That toxin specifically only attacks the nervous system of primates. So while cats, dogs, rabbits, and mice can all walk it off, a monkey can end up on a t-shirt. The thing is, funnel webs are found in Australia. There are no primates native to Australia. No monkeys, nothing. This spider has evolved specifically to catch human bodies. Since it is a neurotoxin, without anti-venom, your soul can be evicted in as little as 15 minutes. And since this crawling death certificate often ends up in people's homes, it's more proof that Australia just lives on veteran difficulty.
Places that are forbidden to visit: the catacombs of Paris. These catacombs hold the remains of over 6 million people, and it's believed there are over 200 miles of underground tunnels underneath Paris. In the 18th century, cemeteries were becoming overcrowded, and strong odors from the dead permeated all public areas. As a result, Paris officials thought, let's move these bodies out of the town and away from the public areas, and even underground. Only a very small section of the catacombs is open to the public, with a vast majority being forbidden and illegal to visit. Many people have gone missing, and some even died after venturing off for days in the catacombs. Floodings and collapses do occur. In 2004, police found a full movie theater experience after searching for people. They found this area that was fully decked out with movies, a bar, food, everything. Like and follow for more videos like these.
Creepy things found in video games. Part 6. In the video game Goat Simulator. If you go to this house, go behind the giant rock, and go to the left, you will encounter this. This is a devil pentagram, with a goat head in the middle. If you spawn like a lot of goats with Goat Queen, you will get this creepy encounter.
I stayed at a 1-rated star hotel in Osaka, Japan. The room came with pillow, blankets, stain mattress, and TV, and the room had a funky smell, but I couldn't even open the window because it was broken. And the room was so small that I could barely fit myself, and at the entrance there was even a wanted poster of the criminals.
Did you know that the youngest person to give birth was 5 years old? And it's rumored that her father is the father of the baby. Hello and welcome to Not So Fun Facts with Brent, a series in which I tell you unsettling facts. Despite if you're using incognito mode, Wi-Fi routers actually keep logs of what websites you visit, and the owner of the router can check this whenever they want. So hopefully you don't have anything to hide. Some tumors may contain pockets of hair and teeth and grow complex organs such as eyes, feet, and hands. After you die, your brain remains active for up to 10 minutes. But in your head, those 10 minutes can feel like years, and it's said in those 10 minutes that you live your life again. Or it feels like you're trapped with no escape. Like and follow for more.
What is the scariest message aliens contacting us from deep space would tell to freak us out? Some harrowing cry for help. A species more advanced than a screaming for help would imply something much worse is already after them. I'm sorry, nothing could be done, but you are alone now. We're coming to pick up the 2 billion members of our species living on your planet. Experiments goals accomplished. Simulation scheduled for termination on January 1st. Stop your radio emissions now. They have heard you and they are coming. At your level of technology, you must leave your world if you want to survive.
Night shift workers, what's the creepiest thing that's happened? I was working in a 35-story high-rise. I was returning some computer tapes like I did nightly. I was exhausted and I could barely stay awake. As I approached the elevator, I noticed the door was open. I was happy that I didn't need to wait and started walking faster until I realized there was no elevator car present and it was a 10-story drop. Used to clean a church alone late at night. There was a piano upstairs, which I thought was broken, which was why it was upstairs in the attic. One night I started hearing piano music from the attic. I immediately assumed someone was up there pranking me, so I went up and there was no one. When I turned around to walk away after realizing no one was there, I heard a loud bang behind this metal door which I assume was an attic closet. Never worked the night shift again. Asked the one other person that worked night shifts, she confirmed weird shit happening was normal. I was working at a middle school as a night shift custodian. I cleaned a long U-shaped wing full of classrooms every weeknight. I'd already locked up one set of doors to the wing and was about to lock the ones at the other end of the U. I made the full lap around the wing, and I'd been cleaning there all night alone, and came to the end of the hallway where the doors to the rest of the school were. When I shut the lights off, the dark silhouette of what looked like a child ran from across the end of the hallway from left to right. There were doors down there, but I'd just locked them all up and no one was around. I was so creeped out, I locked the doors connecting the wing to the rest of the school and ran to my car. I always felt like I was seeing things out of the corner of my eye working there at night, but that was the most visible, for sure thing I saw at that place. I worked for a moving company restocking the trucks based on supplies they would need that morning. It's a shitty job. Never work for a moving company. Do not do it. Anyways, I'm stocking a truck pulled up to the dock when I realize my vision is getting fuzzy. I'm tired. I rub my eyes. My forearm feels wet, but I figure it's sweat and my vision clears. It happens again. I rub my eyes and my forearm feels wet again. I look at my arm finally to see hundreds of crushed baby spiders. My vision wasn't fuzzy. Baby spiders were crawling on my eyelashes. I was covered in baby spiders. I ran to the nearest water hose and got everything off. The next morning I had lots of tiny bites on my legs but otherwise nothing else. I work in a prison. When I was new, I was working overtime one night in a housing unit that has seen a lot of death. It was well after midnight, and all of the offenders were supposed to be in their cells. Since this was a medium security prison, the offenders still had access to leave their cell to use the communal bathroom at night. Well, I was going in for the 2 a.m. count. I watched an offender walk down the stairs from the second level and into the bathroom. I stood at the entrance to the bathroom and yelled in to ask them what cell they were in so I could add an extra body to that cell for my count but got no answer. I then walked into the bathroom and searched everywhere but found absolutely nobody. I told one of my coworkers about what happened, and the first thing they asked me was he tall and skinny with long dreads? And he had been. When I answered yes, I was told, that's Mr. Bones. He unalived himself a few years ago but he still hangs around. I still get goosebumps thinking about it.
Never camp alone with a camera. I'm 22F, an avid nature photographer. I regularly go on hikes into the deep middle of woods and forests to catch the rarest beauties of nature. Anyway, I head out to this location I've been meaning to go to for a while. Some of my photography friends have been before and got stunning photos of deer, badgers and various rare birds. I drove as far as I could before the woods started, parked my car up in a lay-by, grabbed my tent, camera and supplies and head into the forest. It was quite misty but the forecast said it would clear up overnight. I found a badger den after about 30 minutes of walking into the forest, so decided this would be the perfect spot to set up my camera to hopefully catch some badgers on film overnight. I pitched my tent just far enough away not to disturb or scare the badgers and went over to set up my camera. I had it facing so it would catch lots of the entrances in the same shot. Plugged it into the power pack and left it running. I had a motion sensor so if it was to catch movement overnight it would begin filming. Everything seemed fine. I was in the middle of the woods, away from any paths, so it was very unlikely anyone would disturb me in the night. The next morning I woke up and could see fresh trails around the den, so I knew I would have caught some badgers on camera. I was so excited. I tried to check the footage on my camera straight away, but both it and the power pack had died, and unusually the power pack was no longer plugged into my camera. Weird. I was sure I had plugged it in. I just hoped it had enough battery to catch the badgers on film. I'd have been gutted if I'd missed them. Nervous I'd messed up, I decided to head back to my car to charge up my camera and have a look at the pictures. I packed up everything and walked back to the car. It took about half an hour for my camera to charge up and turn back on. It turns on and I go to my camera roll. The first video was of the badger den, but I couldn't see anything there. There must have been some movement to trigger the camera to begin recording, but I couldn't see anything within the shot. It was recorded at 2:30 a.m. After about 20 seconds of nothing, the recording stops. I flick to the next recording, and it's a photo of my tent. I flick to the next and it's a photo of me alone, asleep, inside my tent. This was followed by about 40 more photos of me sleeping in my tent. The final photo, taken at 5:30 a.m., about half an hour before I woke up, was a picture of my car. I could feel the fear rush over me. My hair stood up on the back of my neck. I began driving and I drove as fast as I could. There was no signal and no one was else around for miles. I managed to get home safely. I still don't know who took the photos or why they were taken. I've not been camping since.